Bali. They call it the island of the gods, a land where mountains breathe fire, where ancient temples cling to cliffs, and where the ocean whispers secrets that no one can fully understand. For centuries, travelers have come here in search of paradise. Some found peace, some found chaos, and some found themselves. I didn't come for beaches or cocktails. I came to uncover the soul of Bali, and what I found was something far greater than I ever imagined. From the moment I arrived, the air felt different. Heavy, humid, alive. At dawn, the smell of incense carried through the streets, blending with the faint sweetness of frangipani flowers. Every doorway, every shop, every step of pavement had a small square basket filled with flowers, rice, and sometimes even candy or cigarettes. Offerings to the unseen. In Bali, the spiritual world doesn't live far away in temples, it lives everywhere, in every detail, in every breath. My first days began in Ubud, Bali's cultural heart. It's a town where art is not a hobby, it's the language of life itself. Painters, woodcarvers, and dancers keep traditions alive that are centuries old. Walking through the streets, I passed families preparing offerings, children practicing dance steps for the evening ceremonies, and elderly women weaving baskets of palm leaves with hands that have performed the same motions for a lifetime. Ubud is not just a place, it is a heartbeat. And if you listen closely, you can feel it syncing with your own. The rice terraces of Tagalalang are like stairways built for gods. Layer upon layer of green steps, each one shimmering with water, reflecting the sun like a mirror. I spent hours wandering through the fields, the mud cool against my feet, dragonflies hovering above, and farmers bent over in rhythm with the earth. These terraces are not just agriculture, they are engineering, community, and spirituality combined. The Subak irrigation system, created more than 1,000 years ago, is not only about water, it is about balance. Every drop shared, every field connected, every farmer equal. In Bali, even the water is sacred. Watching the sun rise over the terraces, I felt as though I was looking at the veins of the island itself. But Bali is not only calm, it is also fire. One morning, long before sunrise, I set out to climb Mount Batur, one of Bali's active volcanoes. The night was cold, and the path was steep, but around me, dozens of other adventurers carried small flashlights, their beams of light flickering like stars scattered across the earth. The higher we climbed, the colder it became, and the silence grew heavier. Then, as the first light cracked the sky, everything changed. The horizon caught fire, orange, red, and gold spilling across the world. I stood at the edge of the crater, steam rising from the earth, the smell of sulfur filling the air, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was standing at the border between two worlds.
The world of the living and the heart of the earth itself. And then, of course, came the monkeys. Clever, bold, unafraid. They darted between us, stealing food, tugging at bags, and watching with curious eyes as if they were the true guardians of the sacred mountain. After fire, I sought water. Deep in the jungle lies Sekumpul Waterfall, often called the most beautiful in Bali. To reach it, I had to descend steep paths, cross streams, and push through thick vegetation. The sound grew louder and louder, a thunder that seemed to shake the ground. And then I saw it, twin streams of white water plummeting hundreds of feet into a misty pool below. Standing there, soaked by the spray, I felt small, fragile, and yet alive in a way I hadn't felt in years. The waterfall didn't just fall, it roared. It sang, it consumed everything else. I closed my eyes, and for a moment, there was nothing but water and breath. But Bali's wilderness isn't always gentle. Storms can rise suddenly, turning calm rivers into torrents. The jungle hides creatures that watch you unseen. At night, the air fills with the sound of insects, frogs, and rustling leaves, each one reminding you that here, you are a guest, and the island will never let you forget it. At sunset, I witnessed the kekik dance, one of Bali's most mesmerizing traditions. In a temple courtyard, more than 100 men sat in a circle, chanting chak 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 in hypnotic rhythm. Their voices rose and fell like waves crashing against the shore. In the center, Dancers in elaborate costumes told the ancient tale of the Ramayana heroes, demons, gods, and fire. Flames leapt into the night sky, casting shadows that seemed alive. It wasn't just performance, it was ritual, a living story passed down for generations. Watching it, I felt like I wasn't just seeing Bali's past, I was standing inside it. But not far from the sacred chants, chaos ruled. In Kuta, scooters buzzed like hornets, neon lights flickered, and music spilled from bars into the night. Street vendors shouted over each other, offering satay skewers, fried bananas, and grilled corn. Backpackers and surfers filled the streets, laughter mixing with the roar of engines. This was Bali too. Contradictions living side by side, serenity and chaos, devotion and desire, and somehow they coexist. Then, I found myself at the edge of Bali Uluwatu, a temple perched on cliffs that fall straight into the Indian Ocean. The waves below crash with such force you can feel the vibration through the stone. I stood there, the wind tearing through my hair, watching the endless sea. It wasn't just beautiful, it was humbling. The ocean didn't care about me, about my worries, about my plans. It had been there for centuries before me, and it would be there long after. That kind of truth changes you. And as the sun set, I traveled to Tanalot, perhaps Bali's most iconic temple. Built on a rock in the sea, it becomes an island at high tide, unreachable except by faith.
The sky turned crimson, the waves rose, and the temple stood alone, defiant against time. Watching it, I understood. Bali is not a place you simply visit. It is a story that you step into. A story written in stone, fire, water, and wind. But perhaps what struck me most about Bali was not its temples or landscapes, but its people. Every day, I was welcomed with smiles, with warmth, with stories. Taxi drivers told me about their children. Shopkeepers explained the meaning of offerings. Farmers invited me to share coconuts under the shade of palms. The Balinese don't just live on the island, they live with it. Every act is a conversation with the land, with the gods, with each other. And slowly, I realized that Bali was teaching me something I hadn't expected. To live not by rushing toward the future, but by honoring every moment, every breath, every connection. When I first arrived, I thought I was here to see Bali. But the truth is, Bali saw me. It reflected back my fears, my doubts, my dreams, and my courage. It reminded me that beauty and chaos, peace and fire, joy and sorrow, they are not opposites. They are parts of the same whole. And maybe that's the real secret of Bali. Not paradise, not escape, but balance. I came to Bali searching for adventure. What I found was something deeper. I found a mirror, and as I prepare to leave, I know this is only the beginning. There are more mountains to climb, more seas to cross, more truths to uncover. My journey has only just begun. And so I ask you, where should Eva go next?